hello, and welcome to this special edition of Entertainment News. I'm John England, and I'm very pleased to bring you news of an extra special family-friendly music event coming to Simsbury Meadows Performing Arts Centre on Saturday, August the 16th. With me to tell us about it is Ed Tankus from Blue Plate Radio, Connecticut's leading internet jazz radio station, online at blueplateradio.com. Ed Tankus, great to have you with us. Thanks for coming
John.
in.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
But before we begin, I'm just going to put the details up on the screen so that you can be absolutely sure to mark your calendar and know exactly the where, when, and what, no matter which part of this broadcast you happen to click into. Okay, Ed Tankus of blueplateradio.com. Once again, welcome to the program. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to tell us about this. I know this is an important event for you as a radio station.
Very
we've got
much
a lot
so.
to cover in this little bit here. But basically, give us an overview of what Simsbury and the surrounding towns can expect at this wonderful event.
Gates open at 2 o'clock. The first band comes on at 4, which is the Doug Jones Group, followed by Airborne, and followed by our feature act, Down to the Bone.
So we're talking about three major bands here.
Three major bands,
okay.
Yes. Doug Jones is from the West Hartford area. Airborne is out of New Haven, so we've got 2 Connecticut-based bands.
Right.
And of course, Down to the Bone is an internationally renowned jazz band.
Okay.
And they're known worldwide. They've played all over the world.
These are wonderful. In a minute, we're going to come back and analyze each one so you could tell us a little bit more about each one. But maybe you could also kick us off with an idea about Blue Plate Radio, where it is, what it started as, and how people can get connected with that and understand where you're coming from.
Absolutely. Well, Blue Plate Radio is a streaming jazz station. We're not affiliated with, those the Pandoras or the Spotifys. We're completely independent. You can pick us up, as you said, on blueplateradio.com.
Now you say pick you up. You don't mean through the radio antenna. You mean through the internet?
That is correct.
Okay.
We're only available on the internet. We're not on the dial, only on the internet. And you just go to blueplateradio.com on your computer, and you can click there, and you can also listen to us on your iPhone, your smartphone, your tablet. It's very, very simple and very, very easy.
Excellent.
And we broadcast 24 hours a day and 7 days a week.
Now, for those of us who've not clicked into that, what kind of music can we expect? What kind of lineup do you have?
Well, most of our music, 99% of our music is what's called smooth jazz or contemporary jazz, which is, if you're not familiar with those terms, it's more like George Benson or Kenny G. Most people are familiar with those names.
So perhaps less of the Louis Armstrong, more of the...
A lot less of that,
okay,
yes.
Yeah,
and we'll fit in some of the classics. We will drop in some Miles Davis. We will drop in some Dexter Gordon to flavor the whole thing. And some of the newer artists that we encounter here in Connecticut especially are in more that traditional style jazz, so we'll drop them into the playlist too to give them some coverage.
So in a way, you're giving a platform to folks who have built up their careers around here, but don't necessarily get the mainstream attention that they should.
Exactly. We do that in a lot of different ways. We do that, on the station, because they can send us downloads and their music and so on. And we also try to feature them at other concerts that we do as well, so they get an audience and start to build their following.
Okay. So moving on to the concert and tell you, let's go a little bit more in depth. You say it's basically going to be broken up into three main bands.
That's correct.
Tell us about the first one that's coming on.
Well, Doug Jones is based out of West Hartford. And
what's his main instrument?
His main instrument, well, that's a funny question. Because he primarily will play the alto sax, but he's a multi-instrumentalist. He plays a lot of different instruments.
Such as?
He'll play various versions of the sax, from not only the alto, which is primary, but he can play the tenor, he can play the soprano. He's also very well versed at the flute and the electronic wind instrument, which is an electronic version of a sax called an iwi. And he's also an amazing blues harp player.
Very briefly, I understand he's got a new CD coming out that's featuring a different flavor, maybe with guitar added to the band?
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the people on that band is Rick Hanville. He's a local guy from Connecticut as well.
Excellent.
He's got a new single coming out actually this coming week called Almost Summer, which looks like it's going to break through the charts. And Doug is actually working on a new song, which he's going to, I think, debut here at Simsbury. It's a cover version of I Shot the Sheriff, done on flute.
Beautiful. Let's take a little listen to some of the music that he's going to be doing.
Okay.
Well, there we have it. That's the Doug Jones Band. Now, and that's going to be at Simsbury Meadows.
Correct.
On Saturday, August the 16th, just to refresh the viewers here.
Correct.
Now, move on to the second band that you're going to say that they come on the second set. Airborne, is that right?
Airborne.
Okay.
Airborne has been in the business for well over 25 years. They just put out a new CD called Silver, which celebrates their 25th anniversary.
Nice.
They have 8 CDs out. they have opened up for other bands like Power Power and
Right.
Jeff Lorber, and if people are familiar with these jazz names, they'll know that Airborne has not only a strong following, but they have a very strong musical presence on stage.
Let me ask you, one of the descriptive terms of on their website is multicultural. Does that
Yes.
add a particular dimension to the way they come across on stage?
It does, because they are a mix of Latin jazz, Caribbean jazz, smooth jazz, even fusion and some other African and other style of rhythms.
Neat.
So they have a nice flow between the Doug Jones group and our lead group, Down to the Bone.
Okay, and there'll be a bit of a break for people to get up, stretch their legs in between
Absolutely.
sets?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll have a break in between all the bands, so
Okay.
people actually get up and go to the bathroom and whatever. So
And of course, every band wants to use its own equipment, so they move something else aside.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Great, it sounds nice. Okay, and would you say this is a family event for everybody?
Absolutely. We have one ticket price, all three bands. It's bring your own beverage.
Let me stop after the beverage and say, let's get the ticket price in front
Sure.
of folks. If they buy it online before the event,
Yes.
anytime between now and up to the event, it's
It's $39.
Right.
And kids 16 and under are free.
16 under or free. Well, that's a nice encouragement to the younger set to
Yeah.
maybe come along and listen to something they might not usually.
Absolutely.
Okay, forgive me. Go ahead. So,
And
bring your own.
Yeah, bring your own beverage, whatever that might be.
Right.
You can bring your coolers, your blankets, your chairs. I mean,
Nice.
it's again a family-friendly event. Totally.
Okay, well, I want to move on to the major band because I know this is,
Yep.
although the other folks are great, this is kind of the big
Right.
deal. They'll be playing for a little longer, and
Yep.
they'll be playing through till about 10 o'clock the end
Yeah,
of the event.
tennis, exactly.
Okay, so tell us about Down to the Bone.
Down to the Bone. This is their first appearance in Connecticut in 7 years.
Wow.
They last played in New Haven with a slightly different lineup, and this is their only appearance in Connecticut this year. They are flying in from Los Angeles to play this gig the day before, and their latest single called "The Sweetness" has been in the top 10 of the Billboard Smooth Jazz charts since it was released in April.
Oh, nice.
So we're really excited about that. I've had some interaction with the band members themselves. The music director, Rufus Philpott, who plays bass.
Right.
He's told me they're really bringing a lot of their new music with them today.
And what instrumentation is the lineup for Down to the Bone?
It's typically bass, drums, guitar,
Right.
keyboards,
Right.
and it's usually also trumpet and sax. So it's 5 or 6 pieces.
5 or 6
Sometimes
pieces.
they'll also bring a percussionist. It
Excellent.
just depends. I don't know the final configuration until just before they arrive.
Many of the concerts down at Simsbury Meadows feature vocalists who really blow the walls
Yes.
out of the place, but this is primarily or solely instrumental.
Instrumental.
That's interesting.
correct. Yeah.
Interesting take on it.
Yeah, but it's a very engaging music.
Right.
It's a blend of fusion and funk and soul and R&B, and it's something that you just can't help but dance to.
Now, are these the kind of guys that you could go to sleep watching the wallpaper dry, or are they put on a show?
They put on a real show. When I saw them 7 years ago in New Haven, that was the first time I ever thought a jazz band was going to have a mosh pit. It was amazing. It was electrifying. It was
Right.
uplifting. It was like, we want more.
Right.
And they were actually pulling people up on the stage to dance with them.
Fun.
It was just,
Fun.
it was a phenomenal show.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Now tell me, I've seen in the publicity, and we can probably put up a poster of this while we're chatting, that a bunch of the proceeds of this are going to a particular charity.
Correct.
This isn't a purely financial thing, so this is
Correct.
another sort of come on to folks who want to do something good as well as get something for themselves. Tell us
Absolutely.
a little bit more about what that is, what that charity is, and perhaps why you're aiming at that.
Sure. Our charity that we're going to donate some of the proceeds to is Autism Speaks.
Autism Speaks, okay.
And there's a large Connecticut branch here. Autism Speaks is involved about promoting awareness of autism, helping with the research, and providing different mechanisms to help families with autistic kids.
Right, and I understand there's a personal connection that's maybe pointed Blue Plate Radio in the
Absolutely.
direction for that. Help.
One of my best friends, his 16-year-old son has autism.
Right.
And there's a widespread with the affliction, if you
Right.
would say so. Some are high functioning, some are low functioning, everything in between. He's more high functioning, but still as a young adult, he has some substantial challenges with social interactions.
Right.
And going into high school, I know you struggle with high school. Everybody struggles
Who
with high
doesn't?
school. This is just an added burden.
Right. Well, what a nice way for you to reach out to that element
Yeah.
in society and bring music, which is particularly connected. That seems to awaken certain senses
does.
in folks who are gifted in certain ways but not in others. So that's great. Maybe folks who have that situation here will reach out to you and decide to join.
Well, yeah, exactly. And one of the reasons we made this our our kids 16 and under are free,
Right.
was to encourage a lot of these families who have autistic kids
To bring them along.
not only bring them, but not have to have another financial burden.
Yes, and this isn't a formal thing where you've got to sit down and pay attention, otherwise you'll get thrown out. This is free and fun.
Free.
People can even kick a ball at the back of the field
Absolutely,
if they want to.
encourage it. This
Wonderful.
is, it's not the next Woodstock, but we
Here in
hope-
Simsbury, it might be.
Hey, well, yeah, I mean, Simsbury people, I've seen them at shows. They're very free and so on, and that's what we want. We want people to experience the music, feel the energy, and have a good time.
Well, that's great. Ed Tankus, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you so
Taking
much,
time
John.
out of your busy schedule to tell us all about it. We hope it's going to be a great event. And I'm just going to finalize here with the viewers. This is at Simsbury Meadows Performing Arts Centre on August the 16th. That's on a Saturday. The doors are going to be open at 2 o'clock, but the music starts at 4 and runs pretty much non-stop all the way through till 10 o'clock at night, except for little changes on stage. And we hope you come and hope you have a wonderful time watching the Blue Plate Radio Jazz and Blue Festival. That's it from Entertainment News. I'm John England. See you next time.